Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about mounts, and more specifically we're going to talk about mount models and all of the brand new unique mount models of patch 9.2 and what they look like and all the different colors and whatnot. But of course guys, before we jump into that, I just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me streaming World of Warcraft, Season of Mastery, 9.2 PTR, anything like that, we're on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. Right, so yes, mounts in 9.2. There are 13 unique mount models in 9.2. However, some of them do reuse the rigging of previous mount models, but they are unique models in the fact that they do have extra bits that kind of make them Zeref Mortis like or whatever, right? There's definitely some interesting mount models here for sure, and some brand new models which we've never ridden on before. So a lot to get through, guys. So let's just jump straight into it with our first mount, which is the Morat mount. Yes, the Morat mount is coming in patch 9.2. Now we've ridden Morats before, obviously in Torghast there's a little bonus for it, but we are actually getting an official mount, which is a brand new model, and it looks pretty cool, man. It looks pretty cool. It's got a cool saddle on it. It's got various different colors. It actually has 5 different colors for this mount. There's a black one, there's a golden one, there's a green one, there's a purple one, and then there's more of like a dark green one. It's kind of similar, to be honest, to the green one, but yeah, there is 5 in total to choose from of these Moor mounts. Now obviously they come from Torghast. There's a new wing of Torghast in patch 9.2, so it's probably going to come from that. There's some achievement mounts as well. As I said, we're going to go over all of the mount guides at a later date, but for now we're just looking at the model, and this is the new Morat model. Now the rigging for this mount is the wolf mount, similar to the one from Walls of Draenor Time Walking, and the mount special is that as well, where it does like a little raw thing. So nothing new in regards to animations. The mount looks great nonetheless. Our next mount is called the Progenitor Bot Mount in the game files, and it looks like this. It is a cool looking mount. Now this does use the rigging from Mechagon. You probably recognized it before. I believe it's one of the spider mounts from Mechagon, but this one is particularly pretty cool because it's got some extra animations, and it does some extra stuff which the Mechagon mount did not do before, which is flying. Yes, this mount does fly, and it flies really cool. Now, it was teased in the dev preview that it would be a flying spider mount, and they did show it very briefly, but actually seeing it in game flying along is so cool. It's an awesome looking mount, as I said, using the rigging from that Mechagon mount, but it does add a little bit of extra spice to it. It's so cool, and I love the mount special. It does reuse the mount special as well from that Mechagon mount, but because it's so different looking to the Mechagon mount, obviously not having that big bit at the back, I think it's unique. And having that kind of first one Zeref Mortis look to it is just really cool. Such a unique coloration as well, and there is only one color available, which makes me curious whether or not this is like an ahead of curve mount or cutting edge or a drop mount from the raid. Either way, there is only one color available right now, and it is this one, and it is honestly one of my favorite mounts of 9.2. Our next mount type we're going to look at is called the Progenitor Hawk mount in the game files. These are known as Raptora, I think, in the actual game in Zeref Mortis. At least it looks that way, so yeah, Raptora, but we'll call it the Hawk mount. But yeah, so this is probably recognizable because it's very similar to the recent store mount, the 6-month store mount, which did come out. Now, this is not actually a specific recolor of that mount. I believe it does use very similar rigging, but it does have its own mount special animation, which, let's be honest, it's not as cool as the one from the store mount, but what do you expect? Now, this Hawk mount does come in 3 colors. You have a golden one, you have a darker one, and a red one, and I do love the red one. I think it looks awesome. The armor on this is very Zeref Mortis, as you'd imagine, and it is a cool looking Hawk mount, and you'll be able to fly this around Zeref Mortis as well, as it is a flying zone, which is actually really convenient. I actually find that this mount is more similar to the Ravenlord mount in its kind of animations and look than the store mount, but that's just my opinion. Either way, this is the Raptora mounts, and there are 3 to choose from in 9.2. Our next mount model we're going to take a look at is called the Progenitor Jellyfish Mount, and it looks like this, and it's a jellyfish mount. I actually really dislike the jellyfish mounts. They started coming in Legion. There was obviously one for N'Zoth, and a couple of others that have kind of sprouted around since then. But yeah, I'm not that big a fan of it. Now, this one does fly. It doesn't need to be in the water at all. It's a flying mount, and it does have a unique mount special as far as I'm aware. At least it's not the same as the other jellyfish, where it kind of twirls in the air and does a little dance, which is actually pretty cool looking. Now, this mount does look alright, you know, don't get me wrong, it looks okay. It's got some floating armor on it, and it's see-through, and it's a cool looking mount. They're using that kind of ball thing that you see a lot around Zeref Mortis as well. But yeah, there is a few of these available. There are 4 colors in total. You have a gold one, you have a dark one, you have kind of an orangey one, and a red one. And as I said, this is a flying mount. It looks like some of these will be drops from places in Zeref Mortis, but also achievements and things like that. But yeah, we will certainly see. They're called Uralids or something like that in the game files. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the jellyfish mounts once we jump into Zeref Mortis. The next mount type we're going to take a look at is, of course, the Snail Mount. Yes, the Snail Mount. This is a brand new model in patch 9.2, at least a brand new mountable model, and it's called a Gastropod in-game. And there's a fair variety of colors on this mount. There's 4 in total. There is a golden one, an orangey one, a kind of darker one, and a kind of pinky one, which is kind of cool. But yeah, a bit of variety in these Snail Mounts. I think they're really nice. Big fan of the Mount Special. I think the Mount Special is actually completely perfect for the Snail, and it's really nice to see a brand new rigging coming into the game for a mount. And this mount does look pretty big, actually, once you do mount it. And it also looks like 3 of the 4 colors will be available from the Protoform Synthesis, which is the new profession of Zeref Mortis. We don't really know too much about it, but it sounds like you build mounts and pets through it, which is pretty unique. So yeah, 3 of the 4 colors are going to be available through that. The 4th one, who knows? I guess we'll find out. Maybe it'll go unused, maybe it'll be a drop, maybe it'll be an achievement. I guess we'll find out when the PTR does go live. Our next mount is called the Progenitor Spider Mount in the game, and it looks like these things are going to be called crawlers inside Zeref Mortis. Yes, the crawler mount. Now, I can't really say too much about it, honestly. We've had spider mounts in the past for many years now, and this is just another version of that spider mount using the exact same animations, the exact same mount special as well, but of course in the coloration of the first ones. And the people of Zeref Mortis and the zone and everything like that, you know the theming, it's very similar in all of these mounts, and I think that's what I really like about some of these 9.2 mounts. It's kind of like mounts we've already had, but kind of different Zeref Mortis or first one versions of them, and this is no different. So there are 3 colors to choose from. With the spider mount, there's the gold one, the dark one, and the red one. Of course, red being my favorite. I do love that a lot. The legs are really cool on it as well, kind of like got a white glow on them. But as I said, all the animations are exactly the same as our previous spider mounts. So yeah, these are the crawler mounts of Zeref Mortis. The next mount we're going to take a look at is the Progenitor Stag Mount, also known as a Cervid in game. These are creatures of Zeref Mortis, and they look great, honestly, and as you'd imagine, these are, of course, Tollbuck mounts with a new little shiny skin on it for Zeref Mortis and the first ones. I really do like this coloration, though, and I really do like what they've added to the mount. The animations are the same as what you've seen in previous Tollbucks, and of course the ones in Ardenweald more specifically. But this new 9.2 version does come in 4 colors, the 4 colors we've seen on previous mounts as well: gold, dark, orange, and of course red. You will also see these Cervids around Zeref Mortis, non-mountable versions of course, but yeah, you'll also see them around. But yeah, it's a really nice variant of the Tollbucks. It is quite different from what we've seen previously with Tollbucks. It's got some really nice armor on the main and some nice like flowing ribbons on the mount as well, and some gems throughout, which is kind of the theming of what we've seen before. So yeah, this is the Cervid mount, and it will be available in 9.2 of course. The next model we're going to take a look at is the Progenitor Toad Mount. We got Toad Mounts back in Battle for Azeroth, and now this is the Progenitor version, the first one's version. Now, I really love the Frog Mount. I think it's so unique and cool, like especially in the running animation. It's actually just super great to look at and super great to ride. It just feels very satisfying. They have created 4 different colorations of this mount: the gold, the dark, the orange, and of course the red one. They are going to be probably available from the Protoform Synthesis thing, the profession thing, but there'll also be some other random ones which I would imagine will be available. This creature is actually called a Bufonid, I think that's how you pronounce it, who knows. That's kind of the name of the frogs of Zeref Mortis. Now, I did speculate in my mount video that they will be making a mount version of this, and they have indeed. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different to your traditional frog mount. It's got some glowing underneath the chin there, which looks great. Kind of like a blocky glow coming off of it, which you'd expect from the Progenitor type mounts. And of course, just kind of like floating armor and very just different and mechanical looking, which is something that we have seen in previous mounts as well. So yeah, I think, yes, this does use the rigging of the frog mounts, but I think it has a nice unique look to make it worth collecting and worth riding. Our next mount model is the Progenitor Wasp Mount. Now, this is actually a brand new model with some brand new animations. At least I'm pretty sure anyway. You guys can correct me in the comments. Now, this is called a Vespoid in the game, and there are 4 colorations available. As you'd imagine, the same colors we've been talking about. I sound like a broken record at this moment. You've got gold, dark, orange, and of course red. All 4 of these right now in the game are available from the Protoform Synthesis, which is the mount creation thing again. So it looks like all 4 of them will be there. Now, as I said, it is a brand new model with brand new animations. So the cool thing about it is when you're standing still on this mount, you will be on the ground, but as soon as you start moving, you will be in the air. The mount special is honestly phenomenal. You just fly around kind of stinging stuff in the air. Like, it's so cool. What an awesome looking mount. I really did think when I first saw a picture of this that it did use the B rigging from BFA, but no, this is actually a brand new model. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I've not seen these animations beforehand, but yeah, this is a cool looking mount and a Wasp mount. There doesn't look like there is a black and yellow version yet, but you know, time will tell. It is the first build of the PTR, so hopefully they do add kind of a traditional, more Wasp-like version as a mount, because it is actually really nice looking. Our next mount is known as the Progenitor Wombat Mount. Now this is one of the ones that we did see in the trailer, and not a mountable version in the trailer, but there is indeed a mountable version. Fantastic, it's amazing. I actually really like this model. I know it is literally a bear with a kind of first one skin, but I think there's so many cool unique parts to this mount that just make it so awesome that it doesn't really matter too much at the fact that it is using animations from a previous mount. Now I love the face, obviously that's the best part of it with that spinning ball spinning around at the front there, but just the whole thing, like there's kind of like a backrest on the saddle as well. Yeah, so it's really cool. There is actually a dance animation for it, but it doesn't do it as a mount special, unfortunately. It just has the kind of traditional bear animations, but I think it is a really great looking mount in the 4 standard colors of the mounts, which is gold, black, orange, and of course red. The red one's actually super unique as well because it has a red body as opposed to the other ones having like kind of a gray body. So yeah, the colorations do make it quite unique and quite different to their previous versions. My only slight issue with this mount, at least in this first PTR build, is that it does clip quite badly with character legs when you are mounted, which is unfortunate, but hopefully, you know, as we progress through the PTR, there's different advancements in the model, and hopefully that will change. But overall, this mount is wonderful, and I can't wait to ride it in patch 9.2. The next mount we're going to take a look at is called the Progenitor Bot Mount. Now this, I think, is going to be like the head of the curve or cutting edge mount because it is a mount with just one skin. And believe it or not, it actually uses the rigging from like the Mogu mount and the Mimron's head mounts, I believe, which is really cool, but it does have its own mount special animation, which is just phenomenal, by the way. It is a fantastic mount special animation. So this mount is super special and unique and different, and it just looks so wild and crazy compared to everything else which is available. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this mount is going to be something very special indeed. And in all honesty, it just looks amazing, and they've done such a great job with it, and it's so high res as well. Like really, when you zoom into the mount and stuff and take a really good look, it's just so like crisp and nice and just a really interesting looking mount. So I really am curious where this does come from. It's actually so early in PTR right now that we do not even have a mount name for it at all. We don't know anything about this apart from the fact that it is a new mount that is coming. It could be one of the 3-person mounts that they did tease as well in an interview. We're not really sure at this point. It does look like it does only have one seat unless you want to bundle inside it. Not really sure on that, but nonetheless, the Progenitor Bot Mount is probably one of my favorite mounts and a very nice, unique model. Our next mount is another toad. This is the Vicious War Croaker. There's a Horde and Alliance version for this. Now, I did do a deep dive into this mount in a previous video, but this is the Vicious mount for 9.2, and it is a armored PvP version of the Frog Mount. And it's not just a Progenitor Frog Mount, it's actually a regular kind of flesh and blood Frog Mount, which I found really weird, but I really love the model. I can't speak more highly about the Toad Mount. I always have loved it so much, and I think the armor is so great. They've really done a good job on these Vicious Mounts in the past, and this is just the same as the previous ones. It uses very similar armor theming to other Vicious Mounts, so it does match absolutely perfectly. Not too sure why they've made this mount specifically, but yeah, that is the Vicious Toad Mount, and will be available hopefully in 9.2. Now I say hopefully because we're going to look at our next mount, which is also a Vicious mount. These are the Vicious Warstalker mounts for the Horde and for the Alliance, and they are really great looking mounts. This creature is specifically one from Zereth Mortis. You've seen it in the trailer. There has been data mined versions of it that aren't mountable, and this is the only mount version of it, and it is called a Vicious mount. So yeah, it looks like we're potentially getting 2 Vicious mounts in 9.2. This mount is phenomenal and does have its own mount special animation where it just kind of hops around and does all of that. But yeah, when you really zoom into it, you see some great details as well in the glowingness on the legs. It's that blocky glow that they've been using throughout all of these mounts, and just like small details of just a bag of random first one balls in the back. Yep, bag of balls. So yeah, it's a cool looking mount, and yeah, hopefully this is the Vicious mount that they do go for, and then the Frog mount just gets put onto a vendor or something like that. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess we'll find out when 9.2 launches. And that is all of them, guys. That is the 13 brand new mount models that you're going to be seeing in patch 9.2. Honorable mention to the new Mythic Plus mount, which is just a recolor, a red recolor of the Death Elemental mount that we have seen previously. So yeah, that's also going to be a mount that will be available. But these are the unique models, the new models that have been added in 9.2 that are going to be mounts. When we do find out more about where these mounts are obtained, I'll of course be doing guides for all of these mounts ready for you to use once 9.2 launches, so you can get your hands on these brand new mounts as soon as possible. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know down below what your favorite mount models are. My personal favorite's got to be the Wombat, the Snail, and of course that kind of new flying spider mount. And honestly, all of the mounts are pretty great with their theming and their colorations. I think they're very unique and very special, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in game once the patch launches. So guys, thank you very much for watching. for watching. Before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome, and if you'd like to support the channel in any of those ways, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I've also got a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members, and as I said, I am now streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me streaming World of Warcraft, patch 9.2 PTR, which is coming up super soon, Season of Mastery, all of that good stuff, guys, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.